I'm Rafael Goldchain, and I've been a photographer for over 30 years. I was born in Chile, in Santiago. At the age of 17, I moved to Jerusalem, Israel. I was there for 5 years studying science, and then I moved to Canada, to Toronto, to study photography. The work on the wall behind me it comes from a larger body of work called Nostalgia for an Unknown Land, which was shot between 1985 roughly and 1989. The work was informed by my preoccupation with the political situation in Central America, which was very turbulent at that time. There were wars going on in El Salvador and in Nicaragua, and there was guerrilla war in Guatemala as well. On the periphery of those things, there was evidence of conflict, as in this photograph, which was taken in a northern Nicaraguan town, is the grave of a young man. The decoration around the young man's photograph is very much a cultural phenomenon, which is that he is amongst the angels after his death. One of the unearned privileges of being, not a local, gave me access to all kinds of things that I wouldn't have probably had access to otherwise. For example, ceremonies of state, where the brass of the Guatemalan army shows up. And so I had ample opportunity to photograph these people parading and prancing around with each other. And this was one such occasion. These people at the time were heading a fairly ruthless war of fighting what they considered to be terrorists, who was actually left-wing guerrillas. And the result of that war was really horrible in the population. There was a couple of 100,000 people who got killed during that time. And so my understanding of these people was pretty dark. And I wanted to show them in this off-kilter way, whispering to each other, almost as if I was a witness to the backstage of events, even though this is very much staged and very much a ceremonial state. This portrait was of this young soldier near the base with his gear framing him. I was mostly interested in the human aspect, the connection between me and that soldier, the connection between the viewer and that soldier, engaging at the personal level and not seeing the conflict as a kind of a generalized state versus terrorists or state versus guerrilla, but at the level of people versus people. To some degree, this may actually look like war anywhere. This could be, in this photograph here, it could really be in Southeast Asia, right? So in some ways, war is war, and boys with guns are boys with guns just about anywhere. But this is one particular boy. And I wanted to connect the viewer to that one particular boy, not as an example of every boy out there, but this stare, this face that is involved with this gear, and tomorrow may not be around anymore.